was loud. Alright, let me see. Can't do it through the phone. But it goes, I gotta take a moment because people aggravate me. Left and right. Oh, shit, man. It goes. Says that's right, you recognize me, of course, and you met Trapper here. Yes, Trapper didn't move or speak. Move or drug. How long have I been here? A few hours. I'm going on 4 a.m. Monday. The sheriff's voice was gentle, but he got down to business. Do you remember last evening that TV interview? What happened after? Tears collected in her eyes. She did have difficulty swallowing. She managed to nod, but the head movement made her dizzy. Do you feel up to answer a few questions? I'm still muzzy. Muzzy, doubtful. Doubtful. All she felt like doing was close her eyes and seek oblivion. That was very uncharacteristic of her. Struck by frightening through, she asked, do I have a brain injury? Not that I've heard. The sheriff replied, nothing serious. You just dropped out. He said as you gestured toward the IV. You took quite a tumble and landed like a rag doll. You recall that somebody came down on the road, a fireman. We weren't sure until he got down that you were still alive. We've been searching for almost an hour, shouting your name as after the hotel bombing. Memories of the previous night came back to her. Snatches. You know this one right here is a 9/11. Came back to her. Snatches with wide gaps in between. Some were vivid, like how badly her shoulder had hurt. How could 2 days before the bombing, there was a hospital, SHOSP entry, ENTREY. She remembered laying on her back at the guard, the fierce wine, sprinkles of cold rain. She recalled trying to respond to the people shouting her name, but she couldn't find the strength to raise her voice. She also been afraid that if she signaled her whereabouts, it would still deem that whoever killed the mayor would appear to the top of the ravine and finish her off from the vantage point. They stick on Whoopi being the mayor. Although she remembered fearing that she would die in one manner or another from internal injuries, exposure. Her mother had died catastrophically. It's set by days at timing. Her father's death was all too recent. So long as she lay it created possibly she would die. Surely she wouldn't cheat death a second time. She was so convinced that she became hysterical with life and thankfulness with the rescuers arrived as they strapped her into the stretcher and began to repeat a reassurance that she had survived a consolating EMT and pushed a tranquilizing drug into her vein to stop her hysteria. The collarbone was their comment. But now she felt scalded on fresh tears. I'm sorry. So you had nothing to be sorry for. Sheriff Addison said that just then a man dressed in scrubs came through the door into the room. See where I'm at, that bitch at the back door. I'm pissed about. He looked surprised to see Trapper and the sheriff there. What are you doing here? Sheriff Anderson replied, I need to talk to the witness now. Who's he? John Trapper? Oh well, John mimic the son by Bible. Oh well, sorry. He glanced at Kara. Going back, she'll be going in and out for a while yet. Can't trust anything soldiers sequentially. It's sequentially. She has image of people at places. That's what sequency is. I got my shit filled. That's the holla. Okay, I have at least be several more hours before she's up being questioned. I'll have the deputy outside call when I feel like she's ready. Let's see. With all due respect, gentlemen, I need to examine my patient. The doctor stood firm. Glenn is a curse, I swear. Addison didn't look happy about getting the boot, but he bobbed at his toward and said goodnight, then used his hat to motion Trapper toward the door. Trapper mentioned motionlessly starting at her. See? Her. In a silent and predatory way of his, then turned abruptly and followed the new sheriff out without uttering a word. Kara followed his murdered exit until the door whispered closed behind him. Had the cold and remote man really kissed her, or she had dreamed it? I'm sorry about that. The doctor moved to the bedside, consulted a chart, and then smiled at her through a neat chipped. I got murdered. I gotta write my notes, man. Put the door knocker and introduced himself. How are you feeling? Was I shot? No. No spinal cord injury, broken bones, or internal bleeding, which is just short of a miracle. You can clues to hypothermia, but the EMTs are you back to normal temp by the time you got to the ER. So the EMTs are the Bible claimers. Alright. You left shoulder was dislocated. I hope you don't remember us popping it back in. No thank you. We sent the MRI to an orthotics specialist. That's foot shaping. But several of us have looked at it and seen the damage of the rotator. You have a hairline fracture of your left clavicle, spine tracker, TRACKER. So strenuous workouts for 6 weeks and it'll heal on its own. You sustained a lot of scrapes and cuts and we're doing the digs out before bits of rocks and wood splinters. Most were superficial wounds, but one of the right required 2 stitches. You're getting an IV antibiotics to prevent HALA infections. HALA IV. It's worse if you took a whack on your head, which gave it a conscious. Is it blurry? Vision blurry? Yes, it's temporary. Do you know what month this is? Okay, read it up. Read it. I got, okay. This is how I read. So, what I say is that, let me just, one more backwards. Really, Sandra Brown, seeing red. Okay. It was, yeah, that's how I read. So don't be jealous of my TV work. But semi-consciousness, let me, shit. It's awful. Highlights. Inconvenience with him, things. Stamped. Prickleness. Yeah. So, with she of the interview, because I did do that wildfire, because there was a fire just set last night, I think it was on the news this morning. This book has been worked in for only a couple days. I can't get far because this is how I see and deal with things on a level. Oh my goodness, because I do. Because never desert living, golden corral, Jack Daniels, Glenn Addison, Tom Glenn, Tom Sawyer, brownies. Alright, let me get this. The uncare of importance. Clothing with personal dress. Heart. Okay. Because I've got 10:09. Goodness gracious. Oh my goodness. I get the popcorn bit. Got one page. It says temple area. He saw merchants selling cattle, sheep, and does from sacrifices. He also sat dealers at tables enhancing and changing foreign money. When pupils enhance, they're crying for an honest purpose to be. Some ropes and chased them out of the temple. He drove out of the sheep and cattle, scattered for the money of changes, coins over the floor and turned over the tables. Then going to the people, he said, those, oh, I can, oh my God, I can get this Bible word from word on actions, but nobody wanted to do Bible study with me. He had to go through Samaria. The one that will have the acceptance, because that will be the one of care from others. That's the Cam, huh? Oh shit, gracious! I ain't got nobody by my side. Look. Oh, have I went to Insanity Talking? Have I sit there and put this on my shoulders to deal with by myself? Baby, I got nobody. I know. You, huh? Jesus Christ, man. I ain't got no respect.